Okay, in today's video, I should say welcome back to Duro 3 YouTube channel. In this video, I'm just got a hold of a, I'm not probably pronouncing it right, I'll just put it in front of you here, MORI Rotator. It's an MR100, press it down here, MR100. It's all in Japanese this, as you can see by this, the flyer. It's in really good condition, this part of it. Minimum information, I've got to try and find out more information as I go forward. I've only seen pictures of this stripped down, so I'll just put that away so it doesn't get damaged. And they also sent a handwritten in Japanese information sheet. I've got to try and get this translated. So this is a very unusual rotator in the fact that the way it's geared and everything and how it works. It seems to, everything seems to be backwards, I suppose, but it has a this comes out of here and it has the U-bolts going through that way. Well, the U-bolts were stuffed anyway, and looks like it's been spinning in here. It's actually put a bit of a groove with a bit of pipe. Looks like it must have been 38 or 40 mil pipe. So she's been spinning for a while in the wind, being in Japan, probably those typhoons where they have it over there, those things that fly, get things moving over there. So it's been spinning around for a while. So I got a hold of this out of the Japanese second-hand market, and when I saw it, I've got to have a look at this. So yeah, it's a 100-volt unit, and it has these unusual gears, and when I saw it, I said I've got to have it, just for the sake of having it. So I'm going to strip this down and get surprised. Same as you'll be surprised when I put the fillet down. So I guess that's going to need a little bit of work done to it. So now we'll just lay him down. There we go. I'll get this one out of the road here first. And they're a really loose bolt too as well. I noticed I was going to start stripping down. I said, oh, I better videotape this. So we'll get that one out first. Hopefully, maybe not. Just going to hit the motor casing. No. I'll have to wait for that to come out later on. The rest, I think, wrong tip in there at the present moment. They all look like, well, that could be stainless steel, but I'm not 100% sure because it's like, yeah, it's really loose fit. Even on, I had to get one of these sockets in here with this, the 6-point ones because they're so loose, as in on the wrong way. So, oh, wow, look at the length of them. Oh, that's steel too. They've been anodized, yellow. Or I should say, not anodized, or anodized, gold. Hence why the rust on top, they're not stainless steel or anything. This thing weighs a lot too. I went to pick it up. It weighs, well, they say it weighs 9.7. And I weighed it. It doesn't. It's just over 9 kilos. So it's a heavy unit. The company that manufactured this was MORI, M-O-R-I, Steelworks or something in Japan, and they're still around. They actually do big things these days. So yeah, interesting. So I found that much out. So I might be see if I can get in contact with them. See if I can find any more information out about this rotator, because I did find another one in Japan, which is a bigger one than this. It was the MX 1000, so, and even bigger again. So just now imagine that how much that one weighed. So let's see if we can lift him up a bit to get this bolt out of here. Again, I don't know how this comes apart, so I'm going to be learning as we go. Got no idea, so I'm going to have to so I don't know how it comes apart. There we go. There goes the bearing ring. Let's see if we can lift this up a bit to get this bolt out of here. Alrighty. Okay, there's the bolt out. Oh, man, that thing. Oh, no wonder why it weighs a lot. It's got a massive big steel. Holy cadoolies. When I saw pictures, the pictures didn't do it justice. This here is steel, and it looks like machine steel, and it's been held in by real small little hex head socket head cap screws. Wow, And the aluminium is just, you can't believe how much this weighs. This is so heavy. And the thickness, look at the thickness of that. Has to be a good 10 mil or more. Oh, geez, this must have, oh, wow. And it's got a little insert in here. And when I bring it back over, that's how you get the, how everything works in the potentiometer side of things. So I'll bring it back over, because I have seen pictures of this. So this is the unusual thing. So it has a bearing on this which locates, I'll get back here. The bearing locates in this piece here. This little piece here is that little flat piece there. You probably can't see. That flat piece is how the potentiometer works, and I presume the limit switches, I presume, I'm not 100% sure. So, can I actually move this, get this bolt out of the road? So we have like itty bitty little bearings on here. I don't know what size they are. Oh, I've got a couple missing here. Probably maybe 8 mil. So I might get rid of these bearings before they just go careering all over the floor. Actually, the bearings on the bottom are even smaller. So okay, we have two different size bearings. The grease is very runny grease. Dearie me. Oh, yuck. Well, I suppose it's better than I see a lot of rotators where the grease has actually gone manky and rock hard. This is actually like treacle or golden syrup. It's like runny as all. Ugh. Oh no! Don't you go down there. You don't want to go in there. So these top ones look like they're probably 8 mil. The bottom ones look like they're half the size again. So we'll get to that point, and we'll see how we go. We'll just keep moving forward. And even the colour of this looks like treacle. Let's get them all out of here. Okay, and this must have been so expensive. Then again, they were a metal fabricator. This piece here, going all the way to there, that's all steel. I wonder why it weighs the way it does. That whole thing and the bearing track is steel, and it looks like machine steel. So, wow. And here's this unusual gear arrangement. It's like this thing spins around like this somehow. I'd like to visualize how this actually spins around. I think there's, I don't know, it's like that actually turns with the ratio and then turns because it's all geared in here. So it's like, that's why you can't have any other electronics at the top here, because this whole thing moves around, and it's like very interesting design. When I saw it, I just had to have it, as you do. There we go. Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's that next piece out. That comes out very easily. So we move back. We get to see we have a bearing, which come off in the bottom section here, which I'll just lean over. There's a recess there. And that has the bearing locator in it. And here's this amazing gear. This one here is all one piece, and this one I thought was in two pieces, but it's got a slight offset in it, and I don't know why. I thought maybe they might spin independently. Maybe they do, but this whole thing is mounted to this gear, so you get very interesting. I should show in front of the camera. So offset this one. They may be all one piece. I don't know. And this is actually one piece. So I thought these ones, for some reason, would spin separately. I can't move them. So when I strip it down, I'll know more about that. So again, this is a learning curve for me. So we shall move forward. Okie dokie. Righty-o. So can I get these other bearings out before they go everywhere? I'll see if I can get the bearings out. These are so small. Look how small they are. Miniature. These are the smallest bearings that anyone's put in a rotator. And the grease down here is a different grease as well, which just seems to be different. Okay, so we're going to have to spin it round. Okay, this is an education for me as well. This is half the challenge. That's why I like doing this sort of stuff. You get to pick something you haven't visually played with before. And I'll be going to do some playing with it, that's for sure. It's a bit like when I had that military rotator, pulling it down for the first time and learning as you go. And lots of these bearings. Jesus, heaps of little beggars. This was made quite a long time ago. Wouldn't be surprised if it was the 80s or maybe even the 70s. I probably should show you the controller as well, but that's got the bearings of the road. As you can see, 2 different size bearings. Interesting. Okie dokie. Rightio, well, since I have seen this in 2 parts, so it looks like the bottom bearing track is part of the bottom casing by the looks of things, and that's aluminium. And the ring, this bearing ring is like this, the biggest mother of bearing ring I've ever seen. It's so thick and meaty. So obviously over-engineered, as they probably did. Okie dokie, well, let's move forward before my camera goes into die mode, which I don't want that to happen in the middle of this. This is too much fun. So let's get the next section. Oh, wait a second, we need to put the adapter in here. The angles of the dangles and all this sort of stuff. And while I get over it, it's actually got a massive big, it's got your terminal lock there. I've already taken that off and everything. It's got a massive big hole in the bottom here. It's like, okay. So right, that was all covered over with these. It had these on the bottom, like rubber or plastic sort of stuff on the bottom. I'm going, okay, that would make it flex and carry on. Don't know why you want to do that, but whatever. Each have their own ideas. Okay, let's again, thing plated again. How about put them over there? Instead of putting them on the table, put them where they're meant to be. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we can find in here. I still can't believe how heavy this thing is. When the box arrived, I'm going, geez, what's in this? I didn't realise, I didn't actually look at the weight when I bought the darn thing. It was like far out. It's hard to explain. I mean, you look at your average Yaesus and they're like light as anything. Okay, now what happens? Okay, we've got wiring we've got to undo somewhere along the line. I'd have a guess what I need to do is unsolder these to get the wires out. Ah, damn. Oh. How would that bearing ring come off? Okay. Okay. So, the bearing would come off this way, so okay. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to, I suppose I can actually do it here. Oh, the wires are actually loose on the actual potentiometer. I'll be rewiring anyway, so what I'll do is I'll just cut the wires in the potentiometer so I know which way they go. I have tested it and everything is wired back to front. Now whether that's a Northern Hemisphere thing, I'm not too sure, but it was driving the wrong way and the actual potentiometer was reading on the display backwards. So okay, so there's our bottom half. There's our gear which is coming up through here. There's that reduction gearing there. There's our shaft going down through this, the guts of this. And now I think we can actually get the bearing ring off. It actually just must go on that way. Look how thick that is. And a proper curved bearing track. Wow. The potentiometer. What's the potentiometer say? Potentiometer 500 ohm. So it's got a gear drive, all metal gears, none like this, none of those like plastic gears, the modern ones. That's all metal. I don't know how it was driving. Oh, maybe the motor I'm just trying to figure out how the potentiometer is reading. That's coming out. Oh, potentiometer comes from the top. I thought it was gear drive. Don't mind me, I'm only half asleep. But yeah, so we've got a small gear there. I think it's on a bearing as well. Must be bearing in this housing here as well as. So, okay, so it's driven by the shaft at the top here. So you can see when we turn the shaft, we get potentiometer readings. So I can see some upgrades coming up. Not a problem. Okay. Oh, and more flat blade screws. Oh, I just love flat blade screws. Okay, now we look at this side. Underneath this is the motor. It's a 100 volt motor, and to me it looks like it's pretty big. So, okay, so let's see if I can undo. What do I undo first? This is a steel. That's a steel plate. Okay, now one thing, there'll be flat blade screws going. I don't like flat blade screws, so they'll be getting taken out. And but then again, flat blade screws is probably all they had back then. Bloody Phillips head wasn't even thought of back then. In fact, it was made in the 70s. Geez, you know, probably at least the 70s, maybe the 80s, but I reckon the 70s personally, by the controller, which I should show you as well. Before I get too greasy, but then again, I'm already all greasy now. I shall go to the actual controller for you and so you can have a good look at the controller. Here's the controller. Very basic, on off, and push right, push left, push right, and it has one of those US bloody valve sockets in the back. I hate them. They're just sort of a triangular sort of shape. Very basic. There's no illumination that I can see in the display. So as you can see, MORI, and it's like little and it look, I know what the T means, but and they spelt rotator with an ER. But okay, whatever. Each their own. Okay, what surprises do we have in here? Okay, we might just... I don't know what we're going to do here. I don't know how it comes apart. Maybe we've got to unsolder all those wires on the outside here, maybe. So again, what I shall do, I'm going to be rewiring the whole thing. I'm just going to cut the wires. And then I'll just do the whole thing back up again. Cut all these wires. Potentiometer should actually just come... I saw pictures of this, it was all apart. Oh well, then again, this part I didn't see. Okay. As I say, I've never had this apart before. I've only seen pictures. The pictures were very average, so I'll just wing it here. Flat blades. And maybe when we get this all back apart again, we'll get this plate off. This is obviously the motor plate that holds the motor in place, I would assume. Because I'm not going to assume that much because I've only seen pictures of this. So, and the motor looks like it's a fairly big motor too as well. The other MX-1000 was rated at a 3 wind area, so that didn't help me at all. Okay, I've got 2 grub screws on here. I'm just wondering if I've got to try and undo these grub screws. Okay, all the wiring pushed through maybe. Oh, I don't think they cut. Oh, the black one didn't cut. Rightio, so maybe that might help me. Now that they're disconnected. Wow. How else comes apart? I don't know. Okay. Obviously, I should have got some Allen keys over to get those off. So that's first. And my allergies are playing up again. I just picked the wrong one up. Okie dokie. Alright, let's get the hub screw out. Well, loosened anyway. So when the pictures were, this was actually physically stripped down a fair way. But there wasn't enough pictures to tell me exactly what they had done. There we go. Off it comes, maybe. Righto. There we are. One gear. Oh, look, it's all bloody motor in there. Yowee! It wouldn't fit any motor. Oh, for this. Wire's been chomped. Somewhere along the line, something's happened. Just chomped the wires. So, how does it come out? I'm going to turn it, I presume. I don't know. There we go. It only just fits in. Bloody Nora. Look at the size of this motor. Now, what's it say on here? It's in Japanese. 100 volts. 6 to 10 watts by the looks of things. It's 4 microfarad capacitor. 1200 with 1600, that might be the RPM. You probably can't. I'm getting really close. Focus camera, focus. Probably not going to focus. So that is one big motor. Bit of end float. I might try and fix the end float, but it was working, so I have to do some. Oh, wiring has been smashed. It's been flattened. Look at it. It's just totally flattened. I'll be rewiring this, I think. But yeah, that's been, something's happened to that sometime or other. It's been like it for a while. Okay, well, there's that. And there's the insides. Even this is quite hefty. So yeah, it's like, there's potentiometers out of there, cables out of there. I will get this all glass bead blasted and strip it all down. Well, while I'm here, I might as well remove these terminal blocks, which I most likely will be doing something else with. I'll probably put a plug and socket on this, I think. Once you get these out of the road. So you just got these average things. A plug and socket would be the way to go here. Especially one of the ones that I use, the LTWs. They come in from the inside to the outside, so they can, when you pull it off, it just stays there. But looks like we've got to get wires out, so I'm going to have to try and figure something out. So definitely, yeah, the wires are really old and are cracking up. Okay, righty-o. I'm going to have a little strap, itty bitty little strap here. We might get him off as well while we're here. Righty-o, there's that out of the road. So I'm going to have to do a, the motor was actually supported by this. Only a thin bit of steel. Looks like it's had a bit of a bend in it sometime or other. Well, one thing I did notice, there is no limit switches in this. I think I will be trying to put limit switches in this, so we don't end up with, because I noticed one thing, it was actually going to the end stop and it wasn't calibrated, so I think it was, yeah, everything was out of whack big time, because you have to get it all exactly right when you're setting it up. So you turn it around and line it, and then just drop the top casing on, you know, line that shaft up with that top hole. So yeah. So anyway, then we have one humongous motor, and yeah, this is the thing I've got to strip down and find out. This to me looks like it's all one piece. This is a casting. All that's one piece. It's bolted on with these. Oh, great! How about that? It's got bloody flat blade screws in it. Be interesting to see what they've done here. First off, I thought these two gears would spin independently, but they don't seem to move. We shall see. Oh, there's Allen keys in the side there. I'm learning as I go. We can't see it. There's an Allen key in the side there. Obviously holds the shaft, so you undo the Allen key, shaft will pop out, this gear will come out. So okay, so I had a bit of thought down to this. Yeah, the bearings still seem to be okay. Righty, well, I've had plenty of fun on doing this, because I'm going to have to get this all glass I'm going to have to get the rest of this all pulled apart. We haven't finished the job yet. So let's finish the job. Done half a job here. Can't do that. Think about the potentiometer and how it drives. Because when I saw the pictures, none of this was in here. So I'm going, okay, what's happening here? So it was sort of heaps of, it was about 8 photos, but it's all been stripped down, and I didn't believe it was this big. I thought it was a lot smaller than this, and basically it's bigger than I thought and much heavier than I thought. It's just like far out. Let's get this off here. Let me get that out. The old flat blade screws, jeez. They look like they're metric, which is good. We'll just be replacing the flat blades with some socketed cap screws or something. Other than that, okay. Potentiometer mount straight on. Double Allen keys on everything by the looks of things. The pot probably needs a good service. So, looks like the shaft might be fixed. There's definitely a bearing in there because that spins way too free. So, back to our same old Allen key again, I would think. I'm going to pull this whole thing right apart. Uh-oh, that's the wrong Allen key. No, got it. It's just a little bit loose. Yeah, can you see what I'm doing? No, you can't see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm doing either. So, there we go. Allen key. And it looks like they've actually had a bit of look how free that spins. That's definitely got a on some bearings. That one is. That spins way too good. Okay, let's see if this one.